Hello and welcome to the James E Tech YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to implement device control to block USB storage devices or allow USB storage devices for ManageEngine Endpoint Central. So once you're in Endpoint Central, I am using the on-prem version of Endpoint Central, so that might make a difference for your use case. You want to head over to the device control tab and you'll see your dashboard, computers without a policy, trusted devices, blocked devices allowed. Most likely, if you haven't had a policy deployed, you'll see a lot of allowed devices because by default, ManageEngine does not block USB devices. So you're going to want to go over to policies on the left-hand side, create policy, and we're going to create a Windows policy. For Mac, it is pretty similar, so you can just repeat the steps here on the Mac's page. So for removable storage devices, this is USB drives, SSDs, external hard drives, things like that. This is what we want to implement, so we're going to go ahead and allow trusted devices. If you want to have some USBs throughout your network, so for example, people need to transfer data on and off USBs, you actually may want to allow certain devices, but if you want to block it across the board, you can go ahead and press block. But for my use case, I'm going to say allow trusted devices. And to allow trusted devices, we have to make an allow list. So let's go ahead and press this plus sign to create a allow list. And it will actually show you the allowed devices that have already been used on your network. So for example, I have a Kingston Technology Company USB drive that I plugged in to my computer a couple days ago. So you can add devices on here, but just for now, we're just going to name it allowed USBs. I believe you have to add at least one device. So let's just go ahead and add. In your use case, I would add a test USB device that no one's using, or you can add whatever you want. So we'll go ahead and enter that. We'll press save. So that is our trusted device list. Let's go ahead and head back over to the policy, and we'll hit refresh. Allowed USBs. Let's add that. All right. And you can add multiple groups if you would like for different use cases, because you may want more than one policy for your devices. All right, so for file access settings, I'm not really going to do too much with this, but this is something that you can go ahead and play around with. So block file copying from removable storage device, which would pretty much block if I had files on my USB drive and I wanted to put them on my computer, this would block that access. So if you wanted to do that, you would press you would check that box. The next box we have is allow read-only permission, which would only allow the user to read what is on the USB. So this may be useful for some use cases. Now this, you can actually set certain extensions to be allowed. If you wanted to get very specific, and let's say you didn't want EXEs to be allowed on your network or to be transferred from USBs, you can specify the types of files that you want to permit, meaning what you want to allow. So you can add extensions here, and then the maximum file size. If you don't want files over X amount of kilobytes, you could specify that there. And so you can enable and disable auto run or only allow BitLocker encrypted drives. That's up to you. You can do your own research and enable those if you need. File shadow settings, I'm not going to turn this on, but if you would like files to be copied to another location from the USB drive, which could be useful for some cases, you would have to enable it and copy the network path. You may have to allow ManageEngine to actually be able to access those. I guess you put in your own credentials. So if you wanted to access another server, you can put in a credential to go ahead and do that and copy those files over. We're going to keep that off. And then if you want to get rid of phone file transfers, which is a different category, it's not removable storage, it is actually Apple devices and Windows portable devices. So Apple devices are obviously iPhones. Windows portable devices is any Android phone. So you can go ahead and do the same process for those devices. I'm not going to do that to save time, but it's a very similar process to the USB one. All right, let's scroll down, and I would suggest monitoring all device activities just in case there's data loss or suspicious activity. You can actually go and see a report of what files are actually being used or copied over, and then you can generate a report every X amount of days. I'm just going to say 1 day. and then send block device details to server immediately. I would advise turning this on because it would let, as soon as a device gets blocked, you can report it to the server. You can actually set up an email to where if a blocked device gets plugged in, it sends an email to your email, and then you can immediately take action. Notification type. So let's say a device gets blocked, a notification could pop up on their screen. Depending on your office or policies, it would depend on what you would want to do in the situation. I'm just going to go ahead and put a custom notification just so we can test this for ourselves. Device was blocked. This is a test. Please contact your admin. We'll just put that. And enable temporary access requests. I'm going to talk more in depth about this in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and enable it because it is a pretty cool feature that I would like to show. All right, we're going to go ahead and must be between 6 and 24. All right, we'll just change this back to hours. 24 hours, save and publish. All right, so we made the policy that I forgot to name. Forgot to name the policy. Let's see, block USBs. All right, save and publish. All right, so now it is time to deploy the policy. So we're gonna have to create a group for this. You might already have a group that you want to apply this policy for. You can do any type of group, I believe. So we're just gonna go ahead and do USB block group, and we're gonna assign it to operating system equals. We'll just go ahead and say Windows 11 and computer name contains PC, because that's going to be my main PC that I'm applying this to. Create group. So once you make the group, go ahead and go to deploy policy, associate policy. We're going to go ahead and assign it a group. You might already have a group, but you should go ahead and make a dynamic group to fulfill all the computers that you want to have this policy. So once you do that, you want to go and apply the policy we just made. There will be some default policies, but I'd much rather make my own policy than deploying the default ones, because there might be settings in there we don't want. So now that we have the policy and the group, we can go ahead and press deploy immediately. If you have over a certain amount of computers, I believe it's 200, you won't be able to use deploy immediately. You don't have to press deploy. It can take its time. It doesn't come immediately if you just press deploy. Deploy immediately will normally just let it go. So now that that's deployed, you might want to configure mail settings to, if a device gets blocked, you get an email immediately. So go to device control settings, alert settings, and you can set up an email alert for blocked device detection and temporary access request. Depending on your infrastructure, you might want to do this differently. So if you have a help desk setup where you can send emails to an email and it generates a ticket, that would be a good idea to do for the temporary access request. So I'm going to go ahead and put a random email, jamesy@jamesy.live. Now, alert for blocked device detection. You might want to create a ticket for that, but you also might want to have another email separate to get emails, depending on your situation. But once again, I'll put in a random email address. Go ahead and save it. Okay, and now that we have that deployed, let's go ahead and go on my host machine and try this out. And now that we plugged in the device, it says, this is a test, please contact your admin. This is a notification that will pop up on the screen of the end user. Let's go ahead and press request temporary access. So this is the portal that the end user will see to request a USB device. So if you're blocking USBs across the board and you're not allowing any USBs on your allow list, and let's say there's some case where a user absolutely needs to use a USB device, this is how you would do it. So you can have them plug it in to have the notification come up, or you can go down to the agent tray, right click on ManageEngine, and there should be something that says View Device Temporary Access Portal. So the way to use the Device Temporary Access Portal is, what you'll do is, once you have this open, if you got the notification, you click on it, you should go ahead and see the device itself already in the device name. But if you, let's just say I were to go down, right click it, View Device Temporary Access Portal, just like if I was planning on submitting a request, you'll see no device selected. So you'll have to train the end users to select disk drive device and select device, show only currently connected devices, meaning the device has to be plugged in. And there should be a disabled USB drive if the policy was deployed correctly and they plug it in. They will have to have the device plugged in to request it. As you can see, it is my USB drive that is disabled. It'll give you the vendor ID, product ID, and serial number. You can only do one device at a time. They have to submit a reason. So this is a test. You can say duration of access. It goes up to 30 days, but you can change that in the background. So let's go ahead and submit the request. As you can see, it went through successfully. Let's go back into our Endpoint Central, and let's go back to device control. And then you should be able to go to policies and temporary access at the bottom here. So now it has generated a request, and it could have generated a ticket if you put in your email for your ticketing system. So as you can see, temporary access for username in the computer name. So let's click on it. We'll press modify. And now that you're in here, you can select the user. You can say all users, a specific user. Let's just say Jamesy if they were a user. Let's go ahead and just stick with the original end user. Now you have two options. You have fixed and window. If you want to give them access forever for the specific device, this is a good way to do it. You can press window, and it'll have the current time, and you can set the expire time to whatever date you want. So let's say they need access for it for 3 months or a couple months. We'll schedule it for February of next year or something like that. Or you can set a fixed time. So if you only need to use a USB for like an hour, you can press that. We'll just say an hour just so it doesn't sit there forever. And if they need multiple USB devices, you can actually go ahead and add removable storage devices, specific instance. Okay. You can go ahead and specify vendor ID, product ID, and serial number if you want this specific temporary access policy to apply to multiple external devices. But we're just going to use this specific device. Or if you would like to have them access all instances of USB drive, let's say they constantly use USB devices for manufacturing, something like that, you can set it to all instances. Or you're an admin and you want access to all USBs under this user profile, you can set that. You say, are you sure you want to do this? We'll go ahead and say yes. We'll go ahead and do deploy immediately. And in the end user, we'll see applying temporary access code from device plus server. So if I try, and they will have to re-plug in their USB. So if I go to this PC, it will still be blocked until they re-plug it in. So let's go ahead and plug it back in. And as you can see, it is there, and I can go ahead and do whatever I need. I can access it. So now that's good. Now let's say you want to revoke this access. It is as simple as going to temporary access, move the trash, and you're done. So that's an easy way to allow and not allow USB devices in an enterprise network. If you were to do the Apple devices and Android devices, it is a very similar process of doing temporary access. Same thing with a lot of the other devices that they allow you to block, for example, printers, things like that. This is more about USB devices, which is more important to the security infrastructure at most companies. So if this helped you out, make sure to like this video and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll go ahead and try to answer as many as I can. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.